Happy Magical Monday. I'm your host, Magical Michelle, and I am coming to you with a little bit of whimsy directly from the Pennsylvania campground of Cooper's Lake. And this week for Living Magically, I did want to talk about some big stuff. It's a big week. We just had a big week. We've got a big week coming, and essentially we are now in the Eclipse portal. And I know a lot of people are talking about the Lionsgate. I am always a big person about the Lionsgate, but this particular year, and I've been doing activations for Lionsgate since 2018, maybe even 17. But I have been tracking the energy that happens as the star Sirius lines up in the sky, and it's every single year. This is a reset. This would be the Egyptian New Year. This would be when the Nile floods, and of course, having been baptized, baptized and purified in the Nile River. It's even more so for me. But this particular year, it's lighter, and not everyone is going to feel that because we have started eclipse season. But this is the year of the fire horse, and Leo is a fire sign, and there's an energy, an intensity with the Leo solar eclipse. The North Node has now moved into Aquarius, and the South Node has moved into Leo. So this is going to be a big Leo themed year. And you also have the Jupiter exalted as it is in Leo. And now you're going to be getting some really, really sweet placements this week. You're going to see Venus just so happy to go back into one of her home signs of Libra, finding balance, creating beauty. And the thing about Taurus and Libra being in, anytime Venus is in Libra or Taurus, it's just a happy time. And so this time, with it being in Libra, it's going to be themes about beauty and balance. And this 8-8 has that signature of courage. And so this week we have the accumulation of the 8-8 Lionsgate. Please join us if you haven't already. We're going to be going live at 8 p.m. on Saturday, the 8th. You can buy it three ways. You can either get it as a one-off. You could join us for the full offering, which is a 2-month period of time where we are working through the eclipse cycle. We're going to be dealing with the autumn equinox. We're going to be seeing this transition through. And then, of course, if you want to really just go all in, it's the least expensive, best way to do it would be to dedicate this year to yourself and join the Living Magically membership. And we do this all the time. And we're manifesting miracles. It's so interesting. The last call, we were seeing so many people who had manifested something that they'd started working on. And you may have hit that point too, right? Where you are manifesting so much and you are connecting to this reality. So one of the things that's happening right now is gratitude. Take a moment and look back at all the things you've acquired, all the manifestations that have already hit. Take a look at this place. Would your child, you, be like so excited to be the version of you that is now? I mean, my little girl is ecstatic. In my brand new purple hat. You like my new purple hat? I was going to change and do modern clothes, but I'm here at a medieval reenactment called the Pensic War in Pennsylvania. And it is a glorious, beautiful day with the sun shining. And I've never appreciated the sun so much as having spent a day in this beautiful tent in the rain. But I want to talk about that. And the reason I left the clothes on is I have two little stories that kind of bring forward the energy that I'm trying to talk about with this week. Tap into your creativity. Tap into your whimsy. Buy a new hat with purple feathers and a dragon. Whatever brings you joy. What would your inner 10-year-old, what would your inner teenager, what would your 20-year-old self, because my first event here, I was 19 years old. My inner 19-year-old would be just screaming at the top of her lungs how happy she would be sitting here in Camp Trimaris. I used to walk past this camp when I was 19 years old and say, I want to be that. And now I am. That memory has hit me over and over again this week. And my inner 10-year-old wanted everything purple. And I didn't get everything purple. They didn't make everything purple then. But now my inner 54-year-old can buy anything she wants in purple. In fact, she's got a purple crown. So maybe you need to put on a purple hat or whatever for your sovereignty. And I love a purple hat or a purple crown because sovereignty is one of the themes of Leo and one of the themes. What do you have to do to claim your crown? So I've got my little purple crown here. I'll be wearing that later. So we talk about the violet flame on the top of our crown, and even that little girl knew the violet flame was the connection. She didn't know, she's like purple, but on an intuitive level, the colors you're connecting to are the ones that will heal you or what you need. And so for me, it's sovereignty right now. It's intuition. It's touching and finding my play and my fun. The last couple of years have been heavy, and so I'm reconnecting to my creativity. I was doing some art. Even sewing on buttons was an art. I'm connecting to my inner fire. We had a little bonfire last night, which it wasn't necessarily to celebrate Lunasa or Lammas, but this fire holiday. Think about your harvest, because we have the next 60 days or so to harvest what you've been planting. We have another 6 weeks of growth season. And we're also planting seeds for the future right now. This Jupiter in Leo is planting for the whole year to come. This season, we're going to be doing some review. We're going to see some retrogrades happening. Saturn retrograde. And we're going to be looking at how far we've come. We're going to get Chiron, the wounded healer, going into retrograde. And it's going to ask, do we know who we are? Chiron, the wounded healer in retrograde, is going to say, have you learned the lesson of who you are, and can you claim it? The I am that I am. I am enough. And then it's going to come back to Taurus in the spring and ask, now that you know who you are, do you own your worth? And so that's also this sovereignty of this 8-8. And so I'm just going to invite you right now with this eclipse season to do the work quickly and do it with fun and play and joy. What brings you creativity? What brings you passion? What makes you feel sovereign, playful, alive? For me, it's putting my 2 feet in this grass. For me, it's playing dress-up medieval reenactment. For me, it's looking at a bonfire on a cold night. And it was a little chilly and damp. But the rain stopped long enough for us to have this fire to relight what's inside of us. Leo season does that. It lights up our creativity. It lights up our heart. It lights up our intuition, our courage. And we're being asked to expand. It's a fire horse year. And what I'm going to just say, the last thing I want to say about this is, what are you lighting up? Because that solar eclipse that's happening next Tuesday, and we'll talk a little bit more about it next week's call, because of course that's going to be right on the edge of that solar eclipse. But in the moment between now and that eclipse, that Leo solar eclipse, through this portal, what are you owning? It's not about owning something you're not. It's about owning who you already are. It's about eliminating everything that isn't yours. I have a lot of medieval stuff, right? And what I'm recognizing is the only thing that I'm doing is I'm replacing things that aren't fully exactly what I want it to be. And I see this as the metaphor. So that's lesson one. The second is, I lost my crown earlier today. I decided to walk up the hill and I was wearing this pretty purple crown. And it came off and I was busy walking up the hill and I was just happy that the sun was out and I was, getting out in the world. And I'm notorious for losing things. And of course, we have this saying in our little magical world called reach, find. It's mine. Bring it back. But while I was without my crown, I was like, well, what else did I lose? What have I been losing in myself? What do I have to reclaim to have my crown back? And when I first got here, my only thing I wanted from this merchant area was a purple hat. I had a purple hat for many, many years, and it has just kind of died. It was now kind of lavender, and it had a little stain on it, and it was old. It had holes in it. And so I wanted a new purple hat. And I went to the place where I could get the purple hat. And of course she says, oh, I don't have any purple hats. The only last one I only had a couple, and the only last one's on hold for a private, I've got somebody who put it on reserve and they're going to come and they're going to have another hat made. But they haven't come to pick it up yet. So if we don't sell it by Sunday night, I'll sell it to you, because they didn't pay for it. They haven't come back. Haven't heard from them. And that was a reasonable 48 hours. So I just kept sitting there going, that's my hat. Why am I not allowed to have it till Sunday? What is in me that has to be the one that has the new purple hat? What do I need to own? And so to lose my coronet, my little purple crown, on my way to get my maybe that purple hat hasn't been sold. And it still wasn't mine yet. I didn't own it yet. And I didn't have my crown. So here I am, no crown, no hat, just a straw hat. And I'm thinking, what do I need to own in myself to be able to have something new and something old returned to me? And I was okay if I had to sacrifice the coronet for the hat. That's what I decided. I'm like, that purple hat, it needs to be mine. I want it. I can replace the coronet too, but I want the new purple hat. And I get there, and sure enough, she was holding it for me, because she's like, I knew you'd be back. And so I get my hat and I get back into camp and I look around and I'm still going, reach, find my coronet. What am I still missing? And it was the gratitude I was talking about, where I recognized that all these things I've always wanted, I already had them. They're me. I just have to own them. I have to remember I'm Magical Michelle. I have to remember I'm Baroness Jonna or Mistress Jonna. I have to remember that I own my authority. I have to remember my magic. I have to remember my whimsy. No one's going to do it for me. But the one thing that did it was certainty, intention, asking the question, what do I need to own it? And these are just fun little things, but they're metaphors for everything, right? It doesn't matter if you're doing a soulmate thing. It doesn't matter if you're trying to call in a house. We just had somebody in the Living Magical group call from last week. Just get a huge promotion. I had somebody else bring me a picture of the staff that they had claimed as they were stepping into their green man moment. They're creating a class. I had one of our people come in and had hit that 5,000 followers on TikTok and now has their shop. Manifesting in a group, creating in a group, asking the right questions, creating the right energy. That's why we do the Living Magical group. That's why we do this together. So if you are doing this week, be the version of you that has the thing that isn't quite there yet with certainty. That is the whole thing. What's the vibration? And if you are a little stuck and it's not arriving yet, ask the question, what is the version of me that is wearing the hat or the crown? What is the version of me that has the exact thing that I'm calling in? And use gratitude. Use gratitude to be part of that moment. That's the miracle. That's the magic. And it's a power portal. It's a power portal. So even if you're not into the numerology, I'm a huge numerology person. Eight is about sovereignty. It's about infinite abundance, but it's also about unity and collective consciousness. So we'll be also doing some work about upgrading the timeline of the community, the world's view, sending our light, our love into these beautiful energy fields, being part of the change as a collective. I'm expecting it to be one of the biggest mass collective waves of spirituality we have seen maybe ever. So there's so many people doing energy work on that day. You'll feel it start on the other side of the planet and just feel the waves all day. You can think at 8 o'clock a.m., you can think it at 8 p.m., but also you can think about it at the 8-minute mark every single hour, because somewhere in the world there's 8-8 energy being done. So somewhere on the 8-8, if you don't join us, connect to the wave of unconditional love. Connect to the wave of infinite abundance. Connect to the wave of infinite receiving. Be open to receive. And remember, miracles are already here, already ready, already part of who you are. So connect to the Leo energy of whimsy, creativity, sovereignty, courage, and magic. And if you want, join us. We're going to be doing that together as a collective throughout the offering, within the Living Magical group, and even if it's just for the 8-8, please join us. And I'll see you there. As always, live magically, and I love you. Oh, and maybe I'll be here until I figure out how to turn this off in the middle of the woods.